I would say that as the first step, the most important thing is understand where you are and what you're trying to achieve. And then based on where you are, then sort of build out your community strategy and where it should sit. But really, it's all about gathering a small group of people that care about the same thing as you.
This isn't your average revenue podcast. It's Ashley and Katrina's Infinite Revenue Playlist, powered by Comsor. And it's your new work bestie. Through conversations with other women in the revenue space, Ashley and Katrina get candid about their unique experiences, help women tackle challenges in the workplace, and uncover ways to grow as revenue pros. Maybe you'll learn a little, cry a little, laugh a little, have an epiphany, or at the very least, get a killer playlist to listen to while you work. Being a woman in this industry is wild. Let's talk about it.
Hi, I'm Ashley.
And I'm Katrina.
And welcome to another episode of Ashley and Katrina's Infinite Revenue Playlist. Today, our guest is Nisha Baxi, Head of Community and Digital Customer Success at Gong. Nisha, thanks for joining us today.
Hello.
Thanks for having me.
So, Nisha, what is your walk-up song?
My intro song is Katy Perry's Roar because I love that song. And she is just like has this big booming voice and she just means it and she feels the music and she just knows who she is and what she's about. And I think that's so awesome. And whether or not you feel that way, put on that song and you will sure as heck embody it. And I love it.
That's a classic.
Katy Perry Roar. All right, I'm going to read your bio really quick, Nisha. I want everyone to know who we're talking to today. So Nisha is head of community and digital customer success at Gong, which is the revenue intelligence solution, as you know. In 2009, Nisha thought it would be fun to run SV New Tech, a community for startup founders, and she grew it to over 15K members. Nisha is the former head of marketing and founding team member of Monte Carlo, a data observability company. She spent a decade building her career working with developers and startups at tech heavyweights like Microsoft, Salesforce, and Facebook. Nisha currently sits on the American Red Cross Silicon Valley board and confers the annual Nisha Baxi Award for that chapter.
First of all, very impressive background. Second, I need to know, what is the Nisha Baxi Award for the Red Cross?
Oh my gosh.
I need to know that too.
That was actually a really random thing that happened. Well, I volunteered in high school like every day. I was like a Red Cross nerd. I volunteered 1,000 hours while I was in high school. And then when I graduated from high school and I was in college, I got an email saying that they named an award after me at the chapter that I volunteered to like the youth who did like the most volunteering and gave back the most that year. And that was
amazing.
yeah, it was really cool. So that was in 2004 and 2023. So almost 20 years later, like every year they still give it out. So I get to go to the chapter and confer the award to a young person who gives back to the community. So I didn't have to like
what better background for someone that actually ended up in community to be serving their local community and now managing online communities.
such a full circle moment. Like the way that you said that, I'm like, no one's ever really said it that way. But yeah, that's to make me feel good about myself early this morning. Thank you very much, you two.
Well, you're an incredible person, so every word is deserved.
Definitely.
So let's talk about what you're currently doing at Gong. Your title is Head of Community and Digital Customer Success. What does that mean?
Yep. Well, community is basically a way to bring people together that connect on a very specific topic that everyone, they like a shared interest or a hobby. At Gong, we've built out a best practice community. So this community specifically focuses customers on connecting with each other on how they use Gong and also on topics that they care about. And that we have some really great, meetup groups that happen once a month, including and most especially the one that you two have co-created and built and run together. We have a data meetup as well, and a bunch of lively like groups and folks that take part in discussions as well. I also head up digital customer success. So that's a way that we provide air cover for CSMs through technology and automation to deliver personalized and proactive experiences for our customers along their customer journey. So what we found is all of these amazing programs that we have in any, B2B customer environment, like an academy or the community or the help center, they're only as important as people needing it at the right place at the right time in their journey. And so kind of basically building out this like proactive automated digital experience will really kind of help garner more people and get more people involved in the community and the academy and all of these other awesome places where our customers can learn and earn and connect.
That's awesome. You are a woman in leadership, Nisha, and I'd like to hear about how that has been both a driver, also something that is probably an advantage, and maybe also the hardships that come with being a lady.
Yeah, I think that there's just hardships when you're in a position where you have to make decisions and influence. One of the things that I wake up every morning and I have to tell myself is, Nisha, it's better to be respected than it is to be liked. And that's something that I've struggled with for a really long time. And I still do. I still do this every day because my whole life, it's all about community and bringing people together and connecting with people and building a personal relationship and leveraging that personal relationship to get to like a mutual shared outcome. And what I realized is sometimes you have to get things done and not everything is a mutual shared outcome. There is a dynamic where I need to get something done and this person may or may not care about it, but it has to get done and I have to find a way to utilize other skills by being, persuasive, talking about how this will benefit them business wise, or, you have to exercise a different muscle. And it isn't just about charm and disarm, although that can work in a lot of instances. But I have to remember that I have to always, show up as like being authentic and it's better to be respected and to be liked. So it's an ongoing journey for me for sure. And I imagine a lot of people struggle with that, whether or not, everyone plays a leadership role in some degree or another in their life. And I think that that's something when you reach a certain point, you say, okay. And I actually say this when I'm building out this digital customer success function is there's a lot of things that are already happening and I'm not part of it and that's okay. But I need to take stock and inventory of what it is. And I need to figure out where to lead, follow, or get out of the way is what I always say. And so I think a good leader can say, this, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is great. How can I help is the question that you should be asking. If there is white space and there's opportunity, then you should take that as a leadership opportunity and say, okay, this is where I need to go. And then if something is great, then just let it be and just say, hey, let me know if there's any updates or changes and if there's anything that I can do to kind of keep your momentum going. So that's something I think about a lot. Good question. No one's asked me that question.
We've talked about having respect or earning respect in the workplace with a lot of different women of different types of roles and types of seniority. And some feedback we've gotten across the board, regardless of their age, their experience level, is that when they do try to go for respect, especially from male counterparts, a lot of time what happens is it's called the bitch phenomenon, which means like you said you would rather be respected than liked. And a lot of times when women aim for that, what happens is, a man turns around and goes, wow, she's such a bitch. Or even other women, right? They're like, wow, she's so intense. She's such a bitch, right? Instead of a man acting the same exact way and like, he's confident. He knows what he's doing. He's type A. He's a leader. And I'm curious, when you are, going for the respect and not for the like, how do you combat that, if at all?
I mean, I haven't ever gotten feedback on it when I've sort of been in that mode or that mindset. Maybe once, and I just said, listen, like, I really have to get things done today. I'm in business mode. Okay, cool. I mean, people also know, like, my baseline is like friendly, outgoing, like chit chatty, and people know that about me. And so when they see that, like, hey, I'm like really trying to achieve something and like really kind of leading with business first, they respect that. In fact, because I've been sick the past 2 weeks, whenever I write emails, I'm just so like brief and terse and just to the point because I literally have like 3 hours in the day where I feel okay that I can like chug out emails, answer things, and the rest of the days I just can't really handle it. So, and I've actually found that to be really efficient. Who would have known? So I'm okay with it. If I can get things done in a shorter period of time and I've established like a baseline level of, my personality is warm, I think that that's okay. I think it's a lifelong thing. I don't think anyone has really perfected it. And all you can do is just be yourself and hope that people see it. And if they don't, then that's okay. Because as long as you're authentic to yourself and you get, your message out and people respect you and hear you, then I think that that's all that matters.
I think you're a very warm person. You're like a cheerleader, but in the best way, not in any bad ways. And I like cheerleaders. It's not a negative thing. But
Well, I was the
what
captain of my cheerleading squad in high school.
that
Just
That
makes
saying.
makes
sense.
a lot of sense.
So much sense. So, but seriously, it's an awesome trait, but one that isn't off. It doesn't always come, like, people just ignore the stereotypical cheerleader is not someone that people are like, oh, she's super smart and someone I should be following, right? Besides the other cheerleaders. You know where I'm going with this. How do you
Yep.
how do you create that baseline of warmth without letting people walk all over you is what I'm really trying to ask.
My goodness. I don't know. When you figure it out, you let me know. Because it just depends, right? On the each individual relationship and who they are. And one of the things that I've actually been trying to do is time box my chit chattiness in meetings and things like that, and just say, let me just chat with people for 8 minutes, up to 8 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes, like up to 3 minutes. People are rolling in. So at the 5 minute mark, if you feel like this is a good time, then you can start the meeting and send out the agenda in advance. And then if it's like you're having a great conversation about, cherry blossoms in Kyoto, then you keep it up until 8 and say, all right, I know we don't have a lot of time. Let's get moving. And that way, at least you can get a little bit of your personality in and that warmth that you really do want to achieve. But then also people feel like when they leave a meeting with you, they know that you've gotten everything that you need and they've gotten everything that they need from you too. So I do think that there is a little bit of that. And that's something that I do always have to remind myself on because good gosh, I would love to just go to every single meeting and just sit and chit chat all day long. And I don't know where I don't know where that comes from. That comes from my dad. He's like that. I mean, he's like pretty much like the mayor of every room that he's in, glad handing people and just chit chatting everyone. But yeah, you're always kind of trying to figure that out. Have you two found anything? Any cool hacks on that?
Well, I would say I think to an extent, being able to chit chat and be warm is actually a strength, especially in the revenue space, right? When you're building rapport with community members, prospects, customers, the more you can show empathy and compassion and chit chat about the things that maybe don't necessarily interest you, but interest the other person, you show that they care. And especially when you're performing discovery on like a sales call, I think it can be a strength. It is a double-edged sword though, because as Ashley said, sometimes when people expect that warmth, they expect that bubbliness from you all the time. They also equate it to, oh, they're weak. I can walk all over them or I can take advantage of this. They're just a kind person. So I wouldn't say I've necessarily found, a method to combat that, but I think it's just something to be aware of, especially as a woman in revenue.
I think that I just don't apologize for it anymore. At first, I thought it was what you were supposed to do in sales. You're supposed to talk to people and just chit chat and like make small talk, and that was what you're supposed to do. But I genuinely want to talk to people about those things. Like, I'm very interested in all of the different things. And when I find common ground with someone, I legitimately want to have that conversation. So for me, it was not even giving them the space to act like that wasn't a strength. And I think just barreling through without any acknowledgement that that wouldn't be something that would be considered a strong, like, that's how I deal with it. I just do me and pretend like it doesn't even, like, I don't even know that there's haters out there.
Make
I know
it till
they're
you
there,
make it.
but I pretend like they're not there.
Yeah, that's a good one. Fake it till you make it.
I want to go back to talking about community, specifically the community you currently run and manage with your amazing team who we know well. So why a customer-centric community and one where you purposely connect prospects and customers together? Why was that the decision for the type of community that Gong wanted to spin up?
Yeah, so when I joined Gong, today is my 2-year Gongversary. I
Congratulations.
just 4 or 5. Okay, yep. When I joined Gong, we had roughly 500 employees and we had thousands of customers. An ask from these customers was, how do I meet other customers that were like me? And how are they using Gong? Because Gong is when you're able to really unlock its potential and its power by like using every little feature. I mean, it's truly, truly a mind-blowing experience. as a former customer, I can say that and really believe, and which is why I wanted to join Gong. I was like, this product is just too cool. But for me, we felt like there was an opportunity to also open it up to the public so that if people wanted to learn about the kind of love and what you get when you become a Gong customer, they could see it firsthand and in an authentic way through the community, right? Like, I'm not pushing out, you know, fake news articles or trying to get people to do things for us like that they don't want to do. It's really just people that have their own ideas and thoughts and they want to share it. And, what other place can you nerd out about how to use Gong than in the Gong community? You're not going to talk about how I use Gong on LinkedIn. These are the buttons that I press. These are the 5 things that really help me out. You don't ever do that on LinkedIn. And so Gong was a really great organic place for that. And what we found was when we opened it up to the public, that people would actually go to the community and learn about it before they became a customer and then end up becoming a customer. And that's actually been hugely impactful in a way that we didn't really anticipate. I mean, that we had hoped we would see, but we're seeing a lot of that. The other theory that I have is that you should connect people that have common interests and they're going to talk about Gong anyway, because Gong is what connected them in the first place, right? And so, but that's not what binds them. What binds them is their common interest and the things that they care about. I mean, that's how you two met, right?
Yeah.
And that's my favorite story in the Visioneer community, in the Gong Visioneer community, is that, you two met and through Meetsy and the community and got connected and said like, hey, like we really want to run this women in revenue thing. And Gong was like, yeah, this is sick. Like we definitely need to do this. And we need to support these 2 awesome ladies who just know what's up. And that's great. That's great for women. That's great for everyone. And that happens to be great for business. That's awesome. What a like win-win-win scenario for everyone.
As you two both know, I could talk about community all day, every day. And what people don't realize is that it's really like a secret weapon for any company. It doesn't matter what type of company or type of, ICP you have. You can use your community in an authentic way to showcase your products, to show your customers and your prospects who you really are outside of the marketing campaigns, outside of the demos and the pitches. And as you said, people are going to talk about your products anyways, whether you own that conversation or not. So why wouldn't you rather provide the space where you can see conversation happening, understand your customers and what they truly want and what they feel and what they think about your products in a way that lets you build your products with your customers, right? In a community-led sense. And I think Gong does a fantastic job of this. And as you mentioned, Ashley and I would never have met each other without the Gong community. We realized we were both women in sales. We both had the same problems, the same types of customers we were working with. And we both used Gong and we loved Gong, but so much more came out of it. And now we're Gong customers for life, right? Why would I ever buy from another company with a similar product to Gong when I get so much more out of the community than just an amazing product? Community is super, super powerful.
You were
And
talking
most
about community and it sounded like individual's personal brand. Community is kind of like your company's personal brand. And I've never thought of it that way, but you were
yeah,
describing it exactly the same way.
Yeah, no, it is very, very much like that. And we even had a community before I even joined Gong, in a sense, right? Like people love the product, people talk about it, people know about the branding, people see it on LinkedIn and on social media, and they read our blogs and they learn a lot, whether or not they're customers. And we wanted people to have that same feeling and that connection and that impact when they became customers. And that's why we created this specific space for them, is we wanted that to kind of move into, well, marketing sort of created this movement, this brand, as you said, Ashley. And then when you become a customer, we wanted you to have that same experience and to know how to do it. So we've told you in marketing, this is what you can do, and this is why you should do it. And then you say, okay, cool, I'm signing up, sign me up. Then you become a customer. And then in the community, you learn how. Cool. You promised me all these things. Now, what buttons do I press so that I can get that thing that you promised me? That's what the community does. And that's why I sit in customer success, by the way, is because that's the whole job of customer success, is explaining how.
Yeah.
What's interesting, though, is while you do sit in customer success, the
Mhm.
Gong community very much impacts sales as well, and revenue and growth and pipeline
True.
generation. And I'm curious, do you have any current goals that are tied to the sales team, or all of your goals currently tied to customer success?
I tie them to everything. So we have support goals, product goals, we have sales, acquisition goals, content goals, engagement within the community, and then success as well. From a sales revenue perspective, we just measure the dollars of influence that we have within the community. So I can simply see people that find the community, join as non-customers, and then become customers, 6, 8, 10 weeks later. And I can just track that ARR and I can say, okay, we're a touch point in the sales cycle. Cool. It's really that simple. And, I have some like goals around that, but, just seeing it happen organically is awesome. And that's why being digital led and digital motion so that we bring people to the community and other places at the right time in their journey become important, because then it's not just like, oh, this is a cool place where I can go. It's like, this is and I was just at a webinar earlier today and they described community as the third place, is like, it's very much like Starbucks. It's like you've got your home, you've got your work, and then you've got the Starbucks, which is the third place. And I think it's very, very similar with the community and the way that we have it set up at Gong, and what we hope that it will achieve in the future is really kind of being the third place for the customer, which is you got your CSM, you've got your product, and then you've got your community. That's your third place. So that's what we hope to achieve. And there's a lot more we have to do to make that a reality, but I'm looking forward to the challenge.
So I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions of what community really is, what it means, specifically in the business world. I think a lot of people look at it as kind of like another marketing campaign that they invest in for a little bit, get some leads out
Mm-hmm.
of, when it's
Sure.
really more of a long-term game and it's its own function. It impacts every part of the business, right? It impacts sales, churn rates, it impacts product feedback,
Totally.
brand affinity, you name it, impacts everything. And for
Yep.
those that have not yet invested in community, which by the way, everyone get on that, where should people start? Specifically like sales and customer success teams that are hoping
Mm-hmm.
to get the benefit that community can bring, obviously in an authentic way. What's
Mm-hmm.
the most basic thing they can do to get a community off the ground?
Well, I think first you need to understand where you are in your journey as a company, right? So, how big are you? Where do you start? Is it there are 15 of you? Are you trying to build a category together and you're just trying to get people really interested in something like some intersection of IT ops, SecOps, and, some really cool, code that you built on your, I don't know, something? Or is this something that already exists, something that's pretty amazing? And you've got lots of customers and you really want them to learn from each other. Everyone says that there's multiple different types of communities. I really think that there's just two buckets. I think there is a community for pre-sales when you're trying to build creation. So I think community and content are the two number one biggest things that you can do to get people to understand the value of your business and to help drive sales immensely at the beginning stages of your journey as a company. And so community is really important. And that point in the journey, the team should be in marketing and it should be all about creating demand gen and inbound leads and revenue, but in an organic way, getting people to learn about what it is that you're doing, connecting people that care about, these IT ops, sec ops people. I don't know why I'm even thinking about that group, because that has never even been my persona in all my, 15, 20 years of working. But once you get them together, then they create a movement and then they start talking about, oh, then this is how this company actually helps solve for that. And then they end up, sharing, telling people about the community. And then also you have really great content, and then, people start noticing and then they buy more of your product. So that's one thing. And then the other one is the community that I built at Gong, which was our post-sale community. Is we've already achieved product market fit. We have, hundreds of thousands of customers. And now those customers want to learn from each other. So then we connected them, but then we made it open so that people that were sort of in the beginning part of their journey, they could learn from people that had already achieved it and that were already there. So I would say that as the first step, the most important thing is understand where you are and what you're trying to achieve. And then based on where you are, then sort of build out your community strategy and where it should sit. But really, it's all about gathering a small group of people that care about the same thing as you. Start small. Just a few people in a room talking about the stuff that they love talking about. That's all that matters. And then over time, it'll get really big and it'll be like the meetup that I ran that has 15,000 people in it over time.
Crazy. And something
Wow.
else that I'll add as a member in your community, and I'm sure Ashley will attest to this as well, you make Gong seem like so much fun through this community, right? Like by being a customer, you're in this like secret club where not only do you get to learn more about the product and chat with other people about how they use it and how you can deploy it better at your company, but it's just fun and it gives your company this amazing personality and it lets your employees kind of
Yeah.
shine as well through their personalities. And it's a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, so fun. So fun. And like that's the whole point of it is like people should be enjoying themselves, learning and growing together and having fun and connecting on things they care about.
Do you think that communities, and this is kind of a trick question, but do
Ooh.
you think that communities are a way for women to have a stronger presence in sales? Because it really feels like the women in revenue community that you have a sub community at Gong is one of the most powerful ones that you have. And I'm not just saying that because Katrina and I are involved, but it does seem like there's a lot of engagement there. And I'm curious if that was an intentional thing because, spoiler, I think community is a way for women to support each other and help push each other forward. But I'm going to stop
Is that a
talking.
leading question?
It's
Yeah,
a
of
leading
course.
question.
It's a leading question. Yeah, of course. I mean, first of all, every community should be built around your customers and what their customers want. And what happened is I had an idea for community. I asked Katrina what she thought about it and was like, we want to do this other thing. And I was like, that sounds amazing. And Katrina's our customer. She wanted to do a women in revenue meetup. And guess what? It's awesome and it's the best and we love it and we support it. And yeah, I mean, and I think community is definitely an amazing avenue. I think there's lots of different avenues, but I think it's the easiest way to get going and to get started and to feel like you're part of something and to learn from other wonderful people that have been in your shoes or are currently in your shoes or to see something that you might tackle in the future and know how people overcame it. It's so important. And so, yeah, I think it's just darn good business doing what your customers ask for and what they want and supporting them. But also, yeah, I think there needs to be a space where women can connect with each other and learn from each other. And we have a shared identity and we have similar struggles. And there is something to be shared by that communal conversation and this undertaking is really just everything. I'm just going to plug the meetup then. Everyone should come join join the women in revenue meetup that these two co-created and run together every month because it's truly special. It really is.
We appreciate you making the space for it because it is really important to have a place. And there are a lot of communities out there right now, but I think the thoughtfulness that you put in at Gong, it really shows. And it's not just slapped together in a Slack group, right?
Well, if I had my other right hand available, then I would make a heart, but I'm holding this mic, so here's half a heart.
We'll help you out.
Well,
There we
that
go.
was pretty good. Well, wait,
It's a three. It's a three heart.
there we go.
3-sided heart. There we go. Love it.
I wanted to fit in with you both, so I pulled my mic for if anyone is watching this at the end. I pulled my mic out of my closet and I was like, I want to be part of this. So that's why we're all holding our mics.
We're the mic crew.
Solidarity.
Beatboxing up next.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Are
Special.
you good at
hobbies?
beatboxing?
No.
We haven't talked about any special hobbies. Is that your hidden talent?
Oh my gosh. I actually have like a running list of hobbies that I like want to like just dominate and take down over the course of my life. But I feel like that would be a whole nother episode. But I will say that last night I wasn't able to sleep. And so I went on Masterclass, which is like probably my favorite app. And I just watched like an hour of like Gordon Ramsay like teaching me how to like make like the perfect poached egg and how to like dismantle and cook a chicken properly and like how to use knives and how to organize your kitchen. And I'm like, this is so fascinating to me.
I
I
love
never used to
Masterclass.
care about any of this stuff. And actually, I think part of it is because I'm like, I'm a businesswoman. I don't need to know how to cook and all of that. But then I kind of realized, wow, this is like really like a great life skill. It's therapeutic and it's kind of fun. Like I can actually enjoy it. I find it inspiring at this stage in my life anyway. 10 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. But I love it. I think it's great. Gordon Ramsay's awesome.
Next thing we know, instead of just the Red Cross Nisha Baxi Award, there's going to be some sort of like Masterclass, Master Chef Nisha Award.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh. I don't think so. Honestly, I think that the food that I make is probably just only food that I like.
That's what you should make, right?
Yeah, that's so true.
I would eat
Well,
anything you make. I trust you.
oh,
I wouldn't
yeah.
eat everything you make because I have things that I don't like, but I would eat probably most of it.
Do you
I
like
don't know if I like what you
eggplant
like.
parmesan?
I do
I
like
ate
that.
I made eggplant parmesan. That was the last thing I made day before yesterday, or on Sunday I made it, and then it's still sitting in the fridge. But yeah,
I would eat that.
eggplant parmesan. Okay, cool.
So we have a few minutes left, and we wrap up every episode with a round of revenue would you rather. We're going to ask you
Ooh.
5 would you rather questions that are somehow community revenue themed. They're kind of rapid fire, so don't feel like you need to think too much about your answers. And then afterwards, if you could just kind of give us some takeaways of what you want anyone listening, but specifically women in revenue, if you
Yep.
have a few things that you want them to always remember or take with them after listening to your episode.
Yeah, totally.
Guess, Ashley, do you want me to do all of the questions or do you want to do some
Well,
of
if
them?
we're
How do you
doing
wanna do
rapid
this?
fire, you have to just go.
Okay. Nisha, would you rather have your community goals and metrics tied to customer success or sales?
Success. I sit in success.
Would you rather manage a large team of 20 community managers or a smaller team of 1 to 3 community
Oh,
managers?
smaller for sure. Can I talk about that for a second?
Yeah, go for
Well,
it.
first of all, success also is tied to revenue, so I feel like the first answer is both. But like I said, in success, I just say that. But the whole point of community is that you can scale as a business. If you have like 20 people in your community team, that means that you work at Salesforce. Otherwise, it really doesn't make sense to have a team that big because it's really your customers should be learning and connecting from each other, and that's how you should be scaling. So, anyway, just wanted to shout that
That's
out.
fair.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather have your community team report to, and here's like, this is coming out of left field, to the content team or to the engineering team?
Ooh. Depends on your ICP and who your key persona is. So if it's like a developer type, I would say like definitely you want to be more into like the product developer side of the house. It honestly, I've seen community report into engineering and product. I've seen it report into sales. I've seen it report into marketing, customer success. So it really depends.
Touches everything. Yeah.
It really does. I'd like to see it at some point report into the CEO. And actually at Ironclad, they report into the CEO, which is really cool. Yeah.
Let's check them out. All right. Would you rather manage a community focused on cooking or a community focused on music? And I feel like I'll know what you'll say after your master
Yeah,
class.
probably
explanation.
cooking. I think that'd be really fun.
And last but not least, would you rather have to yell, "I love community" wherever you are every time someone joins your community, or have to give a 10-minute monologue on what community is every time someone asks you, what is community?
I want to do both.
Yes.
Just kidding. The first one. Come on. Who doesn't want to like yell, I love community all the time? Like that's amazing.
Even in Starbucks, while you're getting your order, you see someone join, it's like, "Oh, I love community."
Yeah, I do it.
I think
Why
Nisha
not?
would do it. I don't think she would have
I
any.
think you would too.
I for sure would. Yeah, like every personality test I've ever taken my entire life is like, you are an extroverted extrovert. Extrovert? Congratulations, Miss Extrovert. And I'm like, okay, I get it.
Well, that answers it. So
Oh, yeah.
that wraps it up for the Would You Rather questions. But we do want to say thank you so much for joining us. You are an amazing, extraordinary, talented, intelligent woman, and we are so lucky that we get to work with you in the Gong community with the Women in Revenue meetup. We're so happy that you joined us as a guest for the first season of our podcast, and we really hope to have you back soon.
Yeah, thank you. Stay hungry, everyone. Keep in touch.
Thanks, Nisha.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Ashley and Katrina's Infinite Revenue Playlist. This show is powered by Comsor, the go-to-network company. Comsor is the complete suite of tools for teams looking to grow, activate, and engage their networks. If you enjoyed the learnings and banter in this episode, there's more where this came from. Follow Ashley and Katrina's Infinite Revenue playlist wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. See you next time.